Welcome to the channel, everyone. I'm Skratch. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video, and oh boy, look at this Bastion. Looks absolutely brilliant. The Halloween team is here, guys, and yes, we are getting closer to Halloween. Of course, we're gonna have news related to the Halloween fusion in the next video. Stay tuned for it, guys, because it's a pretty interesting one. But before that, we're gonna have an absolute crazy summon rush this weekend, guys. It's honestly one of the craziest we've had in a long time. And I'm not talking about having something special in terms of events, because it's kind of like the same stuff, more or less. But there's so many OP champions that, honestly, I'm tempted to summon on pretty much every single day. But I'm gonna skip pretty much every single day, maybe. I do want to get this frame from the Summon Rush for the Halloween. Looks pretty badass, depending on how much it costs. If it doesn't come at the price of a kidney, I might try to get a cosmetic, because, hey, I'm a massive fan of cosmetics. But leaving all that on the side, guys, we have tons of other events as well that are happening. I was actually out all morning. I came home and bang! I've ended up in seeing this Halloween celebration. And yes, we have two new champions on the screen. We have no idea what they are. Last year, I think we had Narcissus and Ancora, but I might be wrong on it, so don't hold me accountable for it. But either way, we kind of like had something very, very similar. And we're definitely going to talk about this as well in the next video, once I'm basically allowed to talk about the champions. If you're going to head over to the tournaments, we actually have pretty good events in terms of rewards. Why? Because the fusion is coming. They want to drain our resources. You guys know the drill. And to be honest, I will go and do this. This has very good rewards for a champion training tournament. I'm not too stressed about the 5-star soul for Ultimate Death Knight. But I want to get pretty much everything from here. You know, you're getting Soul Stones books, especially the mythical book. That's definitely something that I'm gonna go ham on. Even the Ice Golem tournament doesn't look too bad. It's turn attack, and you're getting Soul Stones. You're getting some coins. It doesn't look as great though. You're getting some quartz in there, but I like that they're giving you powder now here instead of those random weird chests that are just giving you silver or trash, basically. You know. So we have quite a few events. Now, if we're going to head over to Plarium Play Calendar, you're going to see basically all of the rewards for all of the upcoming events. The Dragon Turn Attack will pretty much give you the same thing. With conditions. We have Night Revenant here. Is the Ice Golem with conditions as well, and I missed it? Yes. Undead Champions. Okay, Battle Khazar for the win. Then the Summon Rush event, guys. As usual, you're going to get tomes, and we have this badass-looking frame. And we have a Dungeon Diver event as well, which will start most likely tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. Primal Shard, I like that. I like the art that they've done for the Halloween event. Like, they have amazing art on all that. But leaving all that on the side, talking about all of the champions, I'm quickly gonna bring this on the screen for whoever is lazy and can't be bothered to actually listen to me talk about all of these champions. But there are a lot of them, right? Now, let's start with the very first day. This Friday, October 25th, they're planning to launch a 15x progressive chance. Every single day, we're going to have the same progressive chance from Ancient, Primal, Voids, and Sacreds. These events will last for 24 hours. So basically, Friday 1 event, Saturday 1, Sunday 1. Now, starting with the legendary champions. Rotos, the Lost Groom. I would love a second Rotos. Just to make +2 my main one. Would be actually amazing. Very powerful. Live Arena, still a monster. Classic Arena, still very, very useful. Overall, a very strong champion. You can either build him on Merciless. The best build is 9-piece Merciless, if you can get good stats, right? It's amazing if you can do it, because he goes crazy. Extra turns, decrease cooldowns. He's going to solo your entire team, your friend's team, your brother's team, and everybody else's team. That's how effective he can be on a 9-piece Merciless. Savage, 6-piece Merciless, Lethal, you guys know the drill. Savage, Lethal, pretty much the same cup of tea. Or you can even pair a Stone Skin plus something. Best Blessing for him, Ward of the Fallen, because he's absolutely busted on that one. At 6 stars, you cannot just two-shot him or anything like that. So, I would love one. Then we have Duchess Lily 2. Amazing, amazing champion. I started using her sometimes now versus Commodus and other bomb champions with high resistance. Basically, I have her built on Stone Skin and on a immunity set with high resistance. Basically, that's the whole magic with her. Still one of the best revivers in the game. block debuffs, perfect veil, increase attack, the speed aura. You can build her on a Stone Skin bolster, but then Narcissus will absolutely demolish your team. Or just go Stone Skin. You have quite a few different options on how you can build Duchess. Then we have Walking Tomb Drang. Yeah, he's good to duo the Sand Devil's Necropolis if you have no better options. But other than that, he's not the most OP champion. Good for the Spider Dungeon because his HP burn is not gonna get resisted, which is massive, right? It's very consistent. So that's pretty much all about Walking Tomb Drang. Curse City, you guys know the drill. Maybe Faction Wars. He's not a bad champion, but he's not OP either. He was a fusion at some point. Battle Khazar being the next one on the list, guys. He lost a lot of value since the good old days, but he's still effective in some areas. Ice Golem, for example, as we have the tournament this time around, I'm definitely gonna use him in there. Curse City, you can still use him in many different areas if you don't have a very stacked account. Don't get me wrong, he's still very effective, but he's definitely not as insane as he used to be with the passive, the poisons, the clans, the continuous heal, you know. He was one of my most wanted champions once upon a time. Then we have Sifi, the Lost Bride. I would love another one. But of course, I'm far off from the Mercy on Voids. I'm not planning to buy Voids, and I'm not planning to most likely open any Voids. Unless I'm going for that frame, depending at what cost it comes, you know. Having another one would enable me to make her +2, which will give me the speed and the extra stats. So that's definitely very, very helpful, to be honest with you guys. Amazing champion, super powerful for arena, live arena, classic arena, siege game modes, pretty much everywhere where you want to use her, she's actually a beast. And it's good to see that after so long, these champions are still powerful, you know, like Sifi and Rotus, for example. Then we have Nakret the Great, still strong, 100%. The main thing that really counters him is Narcissus. But if you're not facing Narcissus, he's going to be a very, very strong support champion that will keep your Nuker alive, right? Which is massive. The ally attack, the ally protection, block debuffs. You guys know the drill with him. Very effective, best build, bolster plus Stone Skin. Or you can go, of course, just Stone Skin if you want to. You can go protection if you want to. You have quite a few different options on the table. It really depends what you are planning to do with him, you know, and how high you are playing in arena, basically. Then we're going to have a lot of epics, guys. I'm not really going to talk about them. Yes, there are some nice epics on the list. We have Allure. You guys know the drill with Allure. Great for Fire Knight progression, Curse City, Dark Fae. Then we have Vogot. Vogot is a pretty interesting epic champion. Gives you this amazing healing with a passive, you know. Brings the Provoke. He's useful in many different areas. Then we have Sinesha, guys. Pretty awesome epic champion, good damage, good support, useful in many different areas. And we have Whisper. Actually, let me just stay here because 3 of them are from the same place. Whisper, she deals a lot of damage, good for bursting damage, Hydra clan boss, some of the dungeons because of the passive dealing additional damage versus bosses. We have Skull Crown, pretty nice as well, pairing with Sinesha. Blender comps are pretty dead though, so I won't be talking about that, but she deals good damage. Double AoE, great on stun sets, you know. Moving over to Saturday, guys. So Saturday, we're actually going to have different legendaries, different epics, and seems like I'm going back to this faction. We have Queen Ancora, very, very powerful legendary champion. I know people think that only with Narcissus. No, she's good on her own. You can build her either on Stone Skin plus Swift Parry. You can build her on high resistance on Stone Skin. You can build her on Stone Skin and Bolster. Just Bolster. You have tons of different options. And she is very, very effective. The passive counters Sifi, counters a lot of different champions that can be annoying with crowd control. You have the clans, you have the shield, the thermometer, the revive with all of the cooldowns decreased, speed aura. Awesome, awesome champion. Then we have Candraphone, who definitely lost a lot of value. He used to be one of the meta champions back in the day. Not anymore. Since then, he's kind of like a Curse City champion, Faction Wars champion, at least on my account. I know some of you guys will still benefit from having a champion like him because of the damage that he deals and stuff. Still a very powerful A1 skill that hits pretty hard. But other than that, I'm just not a massive fan of the champion. You know, he just doesn't really bring enough to the table to really justify it. Then we have Giat, the Truth Shield. I've tried the champion to see what damage we bring with this skill because it does sound pretty interesting. Not a big fan of this champion. So my opinion that she's a pretty mediocre champion. You do have this skill which is interesting, but I wouldn't personally summon for her. Then we have Cisia Flametongue, and guess what? I can finally say that I have her. I've pulled her recently. On the 1+1, I think. Was on the 1+1 from Ancient. So she's new on my account. I still haven't built her. She needs a lot of books. I just discovered that during this CVC because I tried to book her and I was like, damn, I don't have enough books for her. So how many she needs? Like 15 or so? So yeah, she's pretty greedy in terms of books, but looking forward to try her out. You can use her in Hydra, you can use her in the Spider, you can use her in quite a few different areas like Curse City, Faction Wars, Doom Tower. She can hit pretty hard, but nothing extraordinary. She's effective with defense down, weaken, HP burn, activation, etc. You guys know the drill. Then we have King Narcissus. Very nice champion. Like, honestly, he really impacted the meta a lot. Him and Ancora. And I'm talking about Marichka and Taras, which were dominating everything, right? I love him in Live Arena, love him in Classic Arena. The block revive is so nasty, especially in Live Arena if you're banning one of their nuker, you know, and you're just winning the fight like that. Ignoring the shield, the strengthen, the double hit, the ignore defense. So much damage. And yeah, honestly, I can't really recommend Narcissus enough. He's really, really powerful. And together with Ancora, they're even better. Then we have Supreme Kale. Yeah, great progression champion, and that's about it. That's the story of his life, which is a shame. He does have an amazing kit, but doesn't really fit anywhere in the endgame. That's kind of like the only thing with him. AoE attacks with weaken, you don't need accuracy. Poisons, you don't need accuracy. Increases the duration of the debuffs. Then you have increased accuracy, decreased resistance. Very, very nice, right? Pretty effective skills for progression. Then, moving over to epics, we have Miscreated Monster. He's still a decent epic champion, but he lost a lot of value since he was released in the game. All of this magic was about the A2 with the shield, the stun. You can still use him progression-wise. You can still use him in the endgame in Curse City or different locations if you need him Faction Wars. But he's just not at the OP level like he used to be, basically, right? Then we have a Doom Priest. Doom Priest, yeah, what can I tell you? Super simple champion. It's all about the passive. Clans, clans, clans. Best build, Relentless. And by the way, you do want to build the Miscreated Monster with damage because the shield will grow. A Doom Priest, very simple champion. Relentless, the best build for her. No questions asked. Then we have a Seeker, guys. Very effective for clan boss. Very good thermometer booster, increased attack. You guys know the drill with him. I know a lot of you guys are looking for a Seeker for a clan boss team. So this might be your chance, but keep in mind, you might want to do the fusion, right? So you might not want to summon during this weekend. And we do have tons of crazy champions. Like, honestly, it's going to be hard for pretty much everyone to kind of like, don't try to go for a champion. Then we have Madame series, guys. Yes, she's nice. I haven't used her in a very long time. I might try to build her just for this skill. Decrease attack, decrease defense, strips all buffs. She can be pretty interesting on a pinpoint build now, considering that all of the meta changed quite a bit, right? So Stone Skin is still the biggest enemy. Then we have Umbral Enchantress. Good block buff champion on a 3-turn cooldown. Block buffs for 3 turns. The only thing is she doesn't really bring you anything else. This is on a very long cooldown, and you don't want to use her as a provoker, right? Other than that, she's a decentish champion. I haven't used her in a very long time, and I had 2 or 3 of them built for my Hydra Clan Boss teams. Then moving over to Sunday, guys. Another 15x. This time around, we're starting strong with Prince Kymar. Beautiful champion. The reset is amazing. He can deal damage, sleep, remove buffs. With pinpoint, he might be sliding back into the meta for Live Arena. AoE. This is the issue with him, the poisons, you know. It can really mess you up versus a Marichka, or it can even polymorph you. But he has a very good speed aura for Arena. You can either build him on Stone Skin with high accuracy with pinpoint, just full pinpoint with very high speed. That's kind of like what you're looking at if we're talking about Arena. If we're looking about PvE, it depends. Bolster, regular shield, damage on Savage. I have one on Bolster, one on Savage, actually. Then we have Ultimate that night. And you can get a 5-star soul for him. Very nasty champion for Arena. I'm still using him in Tag Team Arena, sometimes even in Live Arena, sometimes in Classic Arena. It's all about the passives, which are just super nasty and are just basically messing up your teams. You're just chilling in there for 2-3 extra minutes just because of Ultimate that night. Very effective champion. Build him super slow in Stone Skin, or you can either build him for damage if you want to. 1-turn Stone Skin and Savage. And he might surprise a bit your enemies. Mortu Macab, probably one of the champions that got hit the hardest when we're talking about Arena Meta. Like, he used to be annoying because of Peril, right? It's still annoying, but you have a lot of control versus the champion now, a lot of ways to basically deal with what he can do. He can still catch enemies off guard sometimes, though, don't get me wrong. So, still a decentish champion. Probably the best build 2-turn Stone Skin for him because he already ignores defense with a Peril, you know. Then we have Queen Eva, one of the best block revive champions in the entire game, and that's mainly because of the damage that she deals with this skill. Crazy. You only need 85% crit rate on the champion on all of her skills to really get the most out of her. I use her a lot. I'll be very honest with you guys. I have a pretty good build on her. She's kind of like my solo farmer for Curse City on most of the stages. I'm not really using her in Live Arena because I have different champions that can perform a bit better versus Stone Skin and stuff. And other than that, she's still a very nice champion. I'm actually a fan of the buff on Queen Eva. Either you build her on a Savage, either Stone Skin plus Savage, either something like that. Then we have Georgette the Breaker. Probably you guys heard about this champion. He is still very, very nasty. This skill crazy. The passive is a bit of an RNG, but you have the AoE, which is very nice. And if you have Shuzan, Yumeko, Nacret, you can do some of the craziest team in the entire game. And I am missing Shuzan, so I cannot do it, but awesome nuker. For Live Arena, you can either build him super fast, either you build him on Savage with Stone Skin. It really depends, but you can definitely get a lot of utility for this champion, and he's a massive threat, even after all this time. Then we have Hegemon. I know a lot of you guys were laughing when I was saying it a few months ago that Hegemon is good for Live Arena. Hegemon will come back in the meta with Pinpoint. Funny enough, a lot of my clanmates are using Hegemon now, and I am encountering quite a few different people using Hegemon that are not really using him. Very useful for Live Arena because of this skill. A lot of people are building champions on Pinpoint, and not just that, but a lot of people are using Shuzan, are using Arbiter, are using Arbais, and Hegemon can just wipe them off on a good build, you know. So he's definitely spot on for some teams in Live Arena now. I tend to pick him pretty much every single day when I'm doing Live Arena. Maybe not in every fight, of course, but I do find myself using him pretty often. And most of the times, a lot of people ban him over Ardmans, you know, or different champions, because he is quite a bit of a threat now. And we have some epic champions, guys. Let's start with Magnar, still the highest hitting HP epic champion in the game. Pretty good damage right here. You want to build him on Savage to kind of like get the most out of him. Then we have Aeshma. I think she's being used for the Mikage fusion, if I'm not mistaken. Don't ask me about the faction, because I actually need to find her. There we go. Night Revenant. I think she's being used for the Mikage fusion. So that's pretty much the best thing that she can do, you know, fuse Mikage. If she's not being used for the Mikage fusion, she's not that great, okay? So I wouldn't invest in her. Then we have Husk. Husk actually got a bit of a surge now with the Hydra changes, because the decapitated heads have double HP, which means that he's gonna deal double damage with the enemy max HP skill, and he has the provoke, which makes him still a very useful champion for the Hydra clan boss. So keep that in mind. If you're not using an enemy max HP champion in the Hydra clan boss and you're struggling, take one, put him in your team, you're gonna thank me later. Then we have Ostrox. We got Void Epics for the Undead, but they're pretty useless, man. Like, they're not really doing anything. This is a pretty trashy Void Epic champion. I haven't used him at all yet because I haven't found a use for him. And then we have Golden Reaper. Pretty good Thermitter booster early on, progression-wise, but I feel like we have so many nowadays that I wouldn't recommend you to invest in her. She does have good base speed, And yeah, decrease attack. You're getting increased speed, third meter. The A1 is pretty nice. That's about it. Let me know in the comments down below, guys. Are you tempted to summon for any of these champions? I know I am tempted for quite a few of them, but I'll be honest, I don't want to break all of my resources for this. I really want to start saving for the fusion, guys. So if you haven't watched the video where we're talking about the fusion champions, make sure you guys are clicking on it right here on the screen. But as usual, appreciate all of you guys watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.